Zimbabwean Nehanda, Sekuru Kaguvi gave birth to the Shonas. Shonaland, apart from just the Shonas being there, we spoke about that. The Sands, the Ndebeles, the Malawians, the Machawas, the Mozambicans, the Moskins, the Zambians, Tanzania, DRC, Congo, Nigeria, Nigerians, the Chinese, the Indians, the Iranians, the settlers, colonization. You see, in history, we keep having tensions with but one, the Ndebele. And this is a reoccurring issue which never ends. It's passed on to generations for them to further hate the Shonas. But again, what are you doing? Shaka Zulu went crazy. Lobengula had to leave. 3 million people left this South Africa. The Shona people took them in, loved them. Along the way, tensions happened. But the Shona people who took you in, our ancestors, are not the Shona people. Apparently, Zimbabwe now is so mixed that you are hating on the Shona people who took you in, but some of the bloodline that is now in Zimbabwe, it's all these countries. Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia, Tanzania, DRC. That's why I have my mother saying him, but my father is a Shona man. So people may think I'm a Malawian, but I'm actually a Zimbabwean, a Shona, blooded, So I find it very disrespectful that people are actually talking bad about my ancestors. People love them. Mugabe is not, Zimbabwean Nehanda is not Sekuru Kaguvi. He's not that. So why would you disrespect our forefathers? Shonaland is royalty. It's a tribe of its own, just like the Zululand. So when the Zululand was having issues, the Shonaland had to take people in. So I would really want the Ndebele leaders of this generation to do more. This is more of discussing with the Ndebele youth, the significance of how you are a Zimbabwean now and how the Shona tribe took you in. Your ancestors loved them, took care of them. And engage with the Shona people, Talk about these differences so that there is no real occurrences of issues. So that everywhere where you go, you have got issues with the people of, say, South Africa, but you also have got issues of your own with your own. That's a dangerous psychological interference of thinking. That's dangerous. Discuss these issues and don't use Gukurahundi for political moves. We are not free, all of us in Zimbabwe, because they're bringing so many different things. And the Ndebeles hating on the Shonas. So the Ndebeles want what they want as the Shonas want what they want. So there cannot be progress there. And then the political leaders, they speak wanting to sugarcoat, wanting to please. No, just please Zimbabweans. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Have a dialogue that unites all Zimbabweans under the same umbrella. So the Ndebele leaders and the Shona leaders, they need to sit down and talk about these things. Don't speak down on Shona as if we didn't accept you or we don't love you. You can't be speaking down on Shona people as if, even right now, they're telling you to go back home. You were sent, you ran away from this place, you came to Zim, we loved you, and you're a Zimbabwean. And right now, you still have to go back to Zimbabwe, you see. That's what family does. That's what love is. That's what Ubuntu is. So, we're the only ones who love you and shelter you. Even you want to say you're a South African, but South Africa is not saying that. So the tensions, for how long should they carry on going? If a Shona person speaks, Ndebele is to say this. If a Ndebele person speaks, a Shona is to say this. But we find this a lot from our Ndebele brothers and sisters. So what's the solution? Do you want Zimbabwe, as we try to fix Zimbabwe 2023 going forward, for us to facilitate all the Ndebeles to perhaps come back to South Africa so that they can reclaim to be South African and there's nothing to do with Zimbabwe? What do you want exactly? Can we ever talk without blackmail of Gukurahundi? Because, I mean, you and I, this generation, we don't know about it. But the generation of the 3 million South Africans that were given shelter in Zimbabwe, they were not given shelter by Mugabe or even by ZANU-PF. It didn't exist then. So, you gotta hear me carefully. The repeat of the massacre can happen again. And it can happen to all of us. Because I've been in Mzansi for 20 years, some 10 stuff. We're talking about how some of this breed is difficult and for the Zimbabwean government to understand. So if say 200,000, 300,000 diasporans or more goes back to Zimbabwe, it's almost like new people coming into Zimbabwe again. So if there is conflict still that are emerging from the people which do not get resolution, then there might be a second Gukurahundi. History always repeats itself. There will always be collateral damage. They will always go on the news and say, we are very sorry, but this had to happen. So divide and conquer is within Zimbabwe, and the Ndebeles and the Shonas. And the Shonas divided amongst themselves. So you must understand, we have to work together towards a common goal. And this common goal is just for us to understand we are one family at this stage. If these issues are not addressed, you see we are having problems in South Africa whereby the Shonas are fighting with the Ndebeles on a spectrum. Like if I speak about issues of ZTP and I say, nah, let's all go back home, I seem to have an issue mostly with the Ndebele brothers and sisters, because in their mind, they're already home. So as a Shona person, I know, I mean, my bloodline starts there in Zimbabwe first. I may have family here and stuff, but that's why it's important for us to not have divisions, because already Shona Ndebele, they're divided in Zimbabwe and they're divided also in South Africa. But you see, when you're in South Africa, when Shona Ndebele fights one another, it makes the South African look at us as if we are actually stupid. So the land reform and colonization issues, that can actually be resolved quicker compared to our tribal issues between the Shonas and the Ndebeles. So you see how we as black people, sometimes we just hold on to things that keeps us moving backwards, you know. So our tribes and our beliefs, they're separating us on a major level. So these beliefs some of us has, they cannot expect me or you to love me or me to love you, respect or care for one another. So politics, these departments that helps people being people, they have to actually have a like or respect or care in people they have to actually take care of. So if we always have these tensions between the Ndebeles and the Shona, and the Ndebeles just always say to the Shonas whatever, you will have again further issues, because in South Africa you are not endorsed 100% as South African. So you left with Zimbabwe to endorse you. And then if you're fighting with your fellow Shona brothers and sisters, that's not going to actually work. You must stop involving any other race. You see, when we have to deal with blackness, don't involve anything that's not black. Don't involve the past, let's just talk about right now. How can we fix this and going forward? You know, savior or dreaming for others to comfort us. This savior complexity that Zimbabwe felt so much that we need to be sheltered and we have to beg South Africa or any other country to love us and protect us. That is just wrong. So, Ndebele Dudula characteristics. Nah, at Elvis Nyati's memorial, Shona people don't sing that Shona. That's what one lady says. They must not sing that Shona here. They must sing Ndebele. The memorial is in Hillbrow. Hillbrow is in Johannesburg. As far as I understand, that is in South Africa. Elvis Nyati died in South Africa, but he's a Zimbabwean citizen of Ndebele descendant. So some Ndebele lady has the nerve to tell the Shona people who were singing and mourning, crying for their brother who just passed, that no, they shouldn't sing that Shona here. You see the entitlements? So, Ndebele, Dudula too. So Ndebele want to Dudula the Shonas. We sympathize with Gukurahundi, but you and I both know we had nothing to do with it. So, are you going to try to silence all the Shona people just because they are not doing or saying what it is that you want them to say? Are you going to have problems with Lib every time he speaks on how it is important for our people to think always on fixing Zimbabwe? To always think on the next generation, on how they should not live in the conditions that we're living in. How some of us, yes, may stay in this country, but we cannot allow everybody else to come flock here. It is in our most interest to want to even go back home, fix that, so that we are all happy, united there. So recapping this, the Shona and the Ndebele tensions has to stop. Gukurahundi has to be addressed, otherwise we will all be Gukurahundid. When we go back to Zim, still divided. Do you want South Africa to give you citizenship and take you back here? But they don't endorse you like that. Time has passed. This is not 70 years ago. If we want to go back to 70 years ago, everyone is saying let's just be on the same level of ethics and understanding, So the Ndebele leaders and the Shona leaders, they need to sit down to discuss with the people, these issues, so that we don't have reoccurrence, of issues and talks. Because if we carry on like this as a Zimbabwean people, we will never actually get the freedom that we so desire. And Zimbabwean politics is not going to actually make sense, because then we'll just have people infiltrating within the system. And whoever leads, they're not good enough because someone else would think that they are good enough. So I didn't think actually I was supposed to even address this Shona Ndebele topic. But the Shona Ndebele topic is one of those topics, if it's not addressed, it's a major issue for Zimbabwean development. Even these elections, they may be just useless if these people are not aligning, talking to each other. Shona to Shona, we can argue, quarrel and stuff, but at some point we actually agree to disagree. Disagree to agree. But we find that now and then our Shona, our Ndebele brothers and sisters, they always spew that perhaps they're South African type attitude. But you are not South African. You are just a Zimbabwean. We love you and we expect you to love us. And let's move forward together. Let's fix Zimbabwe. I don't have time, honestly, to be doing these videos all the time. We are looking for solutions So I'm sure it will take me a few again before I post another articulated video. This is something that is to just spew, because I see that it's now maybe 3 comments that just came from our fellow Ndebele brothers and sisters who sometimes are actually trying to insult, which is not cool. Don't insult anyone, because actually defamation of character is bad. I can sue someone if I think that actually my character is being attacked in a way that is not right. We must unite Shona Ndebele. Gukurahundi is to be spoken about, cleared. We need to move forward as a Zimbabwean people. And let's not blackmail one another into things. If Shona people want to sing Shona music at a Ndebele wedding or at a Ndebele funeral, they can. If Ndebele people wants to sing Ndebele songs at a Shona wedding or Shona funeral, they can. It's in their right. These languages are all part of the Nguni tribe, so we're just one family. These languages, they are cut and spewed, but they all derive from the same, technically, umbrella of our ancestors. But as far as the topic is concerned, let's fix Zimbabwe, but let's fix these tribes. The Shonaland have been amazing to a lot of people. In Shona culture, Shona people are not bad people. Yeah, there's a lot of infiltrations of different tribes as well that got to the top. Because even when Zimbabwe became Zimbabwe, the idea was to accept every African and make them part of the Zimbabwe. So we are unified by Africa, and we'll keep on at it like that. And on that note, Shona Ndebele, unite. Let's get back home, Zimbabweans. That's what's up. Yeah.